Hi everyone, welcome to Inside Archaeology. If you're new here, my name is Rachel, I'm an archaeologist, and 5 years ago I got implantable contact lenses, aka ICL surgery, which is an alternative vision correction option to LASIK or wearing glasses or contacts. Because I couldn't really find many testimonials from others who had gotten the surgery before me on the internet around the time that I was getting this done, I decided to make some videos at the time about my experience. Now, roughly 5 years later, they are among some of my highest viewed videos, and I still get lots of comments or questions from people wanting to know how things are going or how things are doing. So that's why today we're not going to be talking about archaeology. Instead, I'm giving you my 5 year post-op update. If you want to catch up or you want a little bit more detail than what I'm going to talk about today about the actual surgery and what it involved, etc., you can watch my 1 day post-op and 10-month post-op videos here. They're also linked in the description for you. While you're clearly here for something besides archaeology, please consider supporting or checking out the rest of the channel. Maybe watch another video, check out some of my archaeology news stuff, consider subscribing. If you like this video, please like it or share it so that you can tell the algorithm to help promote me and my channel to new viewers. If you're feeling extra generous, you can make a Ko-fi donation or give me a super thanks. Okay, let's dig into the video. Fair warning before I get into the actual details, there is going to be discussion and mention, but no video or photos or anything, of cutting and touching eyeballs. So if that's something that makes you particularly squeamish, be aware, and probably not going to be the video for you. First, I want to give you a quick refresher on exactly what my particular situation was. Like many people in the world, I have myopia, meaning that the farther away things get from my eyes, I see them less clearly. Before my surgery, my prescription in contact lenses was -6 in one eye and -7 in the other. So that's pretty far advanced. I had previously attempted to get LASIK surgery or laser eye surgery, as it's sometimes known as well, only to be told that my eyes were too dry for the surgery, and then a whole bunch of stuff about how that might be because I have an autoimmune disorder, which isn't the case, but whatever. I've worn glasses since I was a child. I've worn contact lenses since I was a teenager. And while contact lenses were fine, they were obviously just like they're not great. They dry out your eyes. It's hard to swim in them. You can get eye infections more easily. You have to replace them all the time. You have to take them in and out every day. And so every few years after I got basically rejected for LASIK, I was trying to find a different way to kind of try and correct my vision that meant that I could be out and about and not worrying about my glasses or my contacts. What ended up happening was about 5 years ago, my now husband was searching the internet trying to help me out, and he found this option about implantable contact lenses just through like a Google search. And luckily, there was a surgeon at a private hospital in Edinburgh who offered this surgery. This is where I live, so this was great because it meant I didn't have to travel very far to go get it. And I do believe that the surgeon who did my surgery is like one of the top eye ophthalmologists or eye surgeons, I was told, north of Manchester. So like he's very, very well regarded in his field. I did a free consult with the private hospital / office that they were running, during which they did a bunch of measurements of my eyes to let me know if I actually was a candidate for it, the price, how much it would cost me, and then my payment options as well. As with LASIK, the cost of this surgery varies for each different person. Because I have quite advanced myopia, my surgery was quite expensive, and in general this is an expensive surgery because it's not as widespread as something like LASIK, and it also involves like putting a contact lens in you actually have to like buy a product to put in, versus LASIK where they just have a machine that they use on every person. As I've mentioned, I did this surgery privately and not through any kind of public health insurance, so I needed to pay for it all on my own. Unlike with LASIK, my dry eyes were not a problem here, and I was told that dry eyes are a concern for laser eye surgery because what it involves is essentially burning a new layer or shape into your cornea, and as a side effect of that, you can have increased dryness in your eyes. So if your eyes are already dry, they don't want to like increase that because that's not good for your eyes. The reason why this isn't so much of a concern for implanted contact lenses is because it's a different surgery. What essentially happens is the surgeon will make a small incision in your cornea, the outside bit of your eye, insert the lens through your pupil, unfold it in front of your natural lens inside your eye, and then you're done. And there's no removal of any kind of tissue. It's very, very similar to cataract surgery, and it only takes about 15 to 20 minutes. And each eye is done separately a week apart. And the advantages to it are that there is minimal impact to the tissue of your eye. And because you haven't lasered off a layer, this also makes it much, much easier to get a replacement for a stronger lens later on in life if you need it, because what you would do is you would essentially just swap them out. Recovery from this surgery is very quick, and the worst part for me at least was when you're getting the actual surgery done. You aren't under anesthetic. I didn't have anything to relax me. And during the surgery, you have to lie completely still on a surgical bed with your eye clockwork oranged open, staring into a really bright light with your pupils enlarged as far as they can go. And it was scary, but I was able to get through it. And it was easier when I got the second surgery because I kind of knew what to expect. I think that's a pretty natural thing for a lot of people. You get nervous about something because it's the first time you're doing it. And once you've done it once, it's a bit easier the second time around. My biggest side effect from the surgery was that I had a pretty severe, I would say almost like migraine level headache after both surgeries. I did used to get migraines, and it's very similar to that. It was just like a gigantic pulsing headache behind one of whichever eye had been operated on. However, I was able to sleep these headaches off. They didn't last very long, and it's entirely possible that that is something that's pretty unique to me. That's not something that someone else would experience. Within about 24 hours of each surgery, I was able to see normally, and within a month, I was officially fully recovered. I paid half of the cost of the surgery up front, and for the rest, I took out a 0% interest medical loan that I think lasted around 10 months. And so then I just paid it off every single month afterwards within the agreed term. So it didn't end up costing me any extra than it would have, and it was a lot more manageable for me that way. Now, in the 5 years since my surgery, I have noticed no major changes to my eyesight in comparison to perhaps my 10-month post-op video. I do get some halos. This is the one thing that I think I get the most questions from people about. People are really worried about halos or like other things that you might see as a result of it. I don't know. They don't bother me that much. I do have an astigmatism in one of my eyes. And also I've just noticed that with the halos, after a while, you just don't notice them anymore. Your brain, or my brain at least, just got used to seeing them. So it just kind of fades into the background a bit. I don't have any problems driving or seeing at night. Probably the coolest thing is that sometimes my husband says that if I'm looking into the light at a certain way, he can actually see the contact lens in my eye. And that's pretty cool, but I've personally never been able to see it. Almost every year since my surgery, I've gone back into the private medical practice where I got it done for an annual checkup. Since about last year, I spoke to them about now having it being pretty much every 2 years because I've gone so many years without changes. I don't really see how that would, change anytime soon. And obviously, if I did notice a change, I would go back and see them as soon as I could. My one complaint about this process would be that as it was originally pitched to me, I thought these checkups were going to be free as like for all aftercare. But after about 3 years, they started charging me for them. I think they're between 50 and 100 pounds a pop. I can't really remember. I only do them like once a year. And while I can afford to do that once a year, I'm a bit disappointed that that detail was not communicated to me up front. I have also continued with so in the UK, like getting checkups on your eyesight is something that's included in our national health insurance. So I have kept up those appointments as well, because obviously there's other things in my eyes that need to get checked besides how far I can see. And my optometrist has told me that over the years, my eyesight has worsened ever so slightly, but it's entirely natural and expected, and it hasn't done this enough that I need to start re-wearing glasses or needing any other kind of vision assistance. Yeah, so I would say that I haven't even noticed a difference in my vision. I can still see everything and as far away as I used to being able to. I also have no problems with reading, so I haven't had to start wearing reading glasses or anything. It's essentially just great. I can swim, I can open my eyes underwater, and I was also told that my eyes, which were previously dry, as we all know, are actually now less dry. And this is probably because I'm not wearing contact lenses continuously for like 16 hours a day, basically every waking hour. I've not had any eye infections, and when visiting my regular optometrist to check my eye health, she says that everything looks good. As I said in my previous videos on this topic, getting ICL is without a doubt one of the best things that I've ever spent my money on, and I would 100% do it again if I had to go back in time or potentially in future. This is a possibility that I might have to go and get it done again in about a decade because as was explained to me, everyone's eyesight starts to deteriorate in their late 40s. So it's entirely likely that the deterioration of mine will pick up again around that time. But we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. And obviously, it's not going to be a situation where I just wake up one morning and suddenly I need glasses. It will still be gradual. So it might not be something that I need to even do for a few years after that. Okay, everyone, that's everything for my 5-year post-op update. If you have any further questions for me, please put them in the comments down below. Don't forget to comment, like the video, or subscribe to the channel before you leave. If you're feeling extra generous, as I said, a super thanks or a Ko-fi donation goes a really long way. I also do have a Redbubble store that has archaeology themed designs, so you can get them on a sticker, a t-shirt, a hat, or a mug, whichever you prefer. Thank you so much for watching. Stay curious, and even if you came here to learn about my surgery, I still hope to see you on my next adventure into the world of archaeology.